Welcome back to the Connect Show, Texas. So our first guest has a fairly new business. Let's welcome Elysia Randolph, founder of Kaiem. Yes, girlfriend.
Hi, guys.
Hey, beautiful.
How are you guys today?
We're good. You know, one thing I love is always hearing women's stories of how they got their start. So I would love if you could walk us through being a consultant to now creating this brand inspired by your grandmother and your mom. We love our family. We love our matriarch. So talk about how Kaiem came to be.
Okay, so Kaiem, even though she's only 16 months old, she has been in the making for many, many years, I like to say. So as you mentioned, my business is actually named after my mom and my grandma, and it was inspired by the work that they started doing when I was born. So back in the 1990s, they started an imports business selling African and British foods for immigrants who had come from, the continent and from Europe to the United States. So really, my mom started it when she came here. She obviously had me here in the United States. And so when I went off to university and I started working in corporate America, I had always known that I wanted to be an entrepreneur and kind of follow in her footsteps, but I didn't quite know what I wanted to do. So in my third year of college, I wrote a scholarship essay for an online store. So back in 2010 or 2011, I wrote that scholarship essay, and really that was the foundation for what Kaiem is today. So I based it kind of around what they did, but making African-made products luxurious and available to a more modern and younger clientele.
I love what you're doing for so many reasons because America is a melting pot. There are people from all over the world that live here. And especially as a first generation, person here in the United States, you are longing. So many people are longing for the foods from their home, their hometown, or the food from, that their ancestors or their grandma or whomever made. And it's so good for the soul. Have you been able to go back to Africa and talk a little bit about, for your mother and your grandmother, what inspired this opportunity to create these options here in the States?
Yeah, so I actually travel to Ghana quite a bit. I'm privileged in that way that my parents have homes here and homes in back home. So I go to Ghana like every 6 months, excluding the pandemic and all that's been going on. I get to travel there a lot. And actually, that has really helped my business because I get to go home and find the things that people are creating and making back home in Ghana. So that has lended to my business a lot. And obviously, also from a personal perspective, my grandparents were there. My cousins are all there. My aunts and uncles are all there. So it's a privilege to be able to go home and feel connected to my culture. But a lot of people don't have that option, which is like, as you mentioned, why I developed my business. And I think a lot of the reason why my mom did what she did.
I love that you have the ability to go back. You're very fortunate. And with that being said, part of your mission is to expose people to West Africa. And specifically to Black Americans. How do you convey that?
So really it's about the kinds of products and the materials that we use. So a lot of the materials, like if you look at our skincare collection, for example, we use only authentic, only all natural products. And all of those things originate in Africa. So everything that we sell, right, from an ingredients perspective can be traced back to our ancestors. And so in my mind, a lot of the motto that I use or the kind of sayings that I use are, if it worked for generations of our ancestors, why wouldn't it work for us, right? So it's just about adapting to what people have been doing for many, 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 many generations, right? And that may have been lost in our transatlantic slave trade, but is still relevant to who we are as people and our genetic makeup, for example. So people connect to it, one, on the ingredients, but also on our look and feel. So we have some products that are African prints. So it's very clearly related back to the continent. And then in other instances, you have to dig a little deeper and understand what the materials we use and how they connect to our culture, and then how it connects to you as a person and in your general identity and in your in your journey.
So tell us
Yeah.
quickly before you go about some of your top sellers and what we can go find. You already know I'm getting my
Sure.
beads coming to be fine
Yeah,
this summer.
so
What do we
our waist
need?
beads are definitely a top 5. So we have tie-on waist beads, which are the traditional waist beads, which help women track their weight, help children track their growth, and helps even pregnant women track where they are in their gestational period. So we have waist beads. Our skincare products are really, really popular. All of them are shea based. So we have shea butters, we have shea oils, we have liquid black soaps. Our home goods are really popular. They're actually leaving our site soon. So if you want to check those out now, you should.
It's been such a pleasure having you with us today, and we'll definitely check out your website and hope that our audience
Thank
does
you.
so as well.
And thanks
And
for having us.
thank you. And we're just getting started, so don't go anywhere. We have Lisa and Crystal joining us next to talk about how they can help a nonprofit or for-profit business. But first, we're crushing it with Christy.
That's right. She is sharing how to create your goals with confidence and how to build genuine connections while increasing your cash flow. What do you have for us today, Christy?